Well, greetings and welcome, everyone. This is a special episode of Karl's Spirits. This is episode 67, and tonight's going to be a little bit different. Rather than doing a regular bourbon tasting, with the 4th of July rapidly approaching and much of the country under massive heat waves, I thought I'd do something a little bit different. Tonight, we're going to do bourbon slush. That's right, a bourbon slush. Something very cool, very refreshing. And there are a couple of recipes out on the internet, of course, for bourbon slush. You can find dozens with a very quick Google search. And you can use any of those to strike your fancy, or you can use the one that I'm sampling here tonight. It's totally up to you. But first, why a bourbon slush? Why instead of a regular tasting are we doing a bourbon slush tonight? Well, like I said, it's hot out. Both coasts are under a heat wave. Here in the Midwest, it's always hot, the 4th of July usually, and bourbon just doesn't sit well with some people when it gets to be that hot and humid. This is a cold, refreshing drink, so it should stand up quite well to those temperatures. Second, kind of having this prepared ahead of time will keep that guest, and you know who I'm talking about, from getting into your good bourbon and mixing it with something they shouldn't. For example, someone grabbing your bottle of Weller 12-year or Blanton's and mixing it with a Diet Mountain Dew. It happens, trust me. So it's a tragedy. This avoids that tragedy. By having this prepared ahead of time, you're ahead of the game. You're going to save your good stuff. And third, bourbon is, by an act of Congress, America's native spirit. And what better way to celebrate Independence Day, the birth of our nation, than having a cold, refreshing beverage made with bourbon. So that's why we're doing bourbon slush tonight. And I'm going to give you my recipe. Again, feel free to mix these ingredients a little bit differently if you think you need to. But the recipe I use for my bourbon slush, and it's starting to water down a little bit already, but I used a 12-ounce can of lemonade concentrate. These are those cans you buy in the store. They're already pre-frozen. It's measured out to 12 ounces. It's good to go. You need 6 ounce of orange juice concentrate. Again, they come in those 12-ounce cans. I used half the can. Made it very simple. You need 8 cups of water, a half a cup of sugar, 3 tea bags, and your choice of bourbon. And you're going to use 2 cups of bourbon. For mine, since I'm currently on an Old Forester kick, I used Old Forester 86. This comes in right around $20 or less a bottle. Old Forester 86 is great for mixing. It's going to stand up well. You're going to get that nice bourbon flavor, but it's not going to break the pocketbook. When you're mixing all these different flavors, the lemonade and the orange juice especially, and the tea, you really don't need to use your good bourbon. Go for something cheap. You don't have to go, the very, very bottom shelf, but find something that is inexpensive that you like. So you're going to steep those tea bags, those 3 tea bags, in 2 cups of water. I simply threw it in the microwave for a few minutes, got it nice and boiling, steeped the tea bags for a few minutes. And then you're going to mix that hot tea with the lemonade concentrate, the 6 ounces of orange juice, the half a cup of sugar, and the 2 cups of bourbon. You're going to mix all of that in a plastic freezer storage bowl. Just mix it up really good until everything is completely dissolved. You're going to freeze that overnight. When you're ready to serve, pull it out of the freezer and use an ice cream scoop, and you're just going to shave out the ice. It comes out nice and easy. Some people put cherries in them. A good cherry in here wouldn't go too badly. But I chose not to do that. So put it in your favorite rocks glass and enjoy. The cool thing for me, first of all, it's very refreshing. But you get all the constituent parts here. You can taste that lemonade tartness, the orange juice acidity. You can definitely taste the bourbon, especially using the Old Forester that I did. I would probably add a little bit more sugar. I might go 3/4 of a cup instead of a half a cup. That's just me personally. I want it a little bit sweeter rather than tart. but that's a personal preference. Again, mix and match those recipe quantities as you like. But the important thing is you have a ready-to-go beverage that's going to serve between 10 and 12 people. And if you need to do more than that for your 4th of July celebration, you can certainly double the recipe and make a very large quantity. It's a great, refreshing beverage coming up here in the heat of the summer. This is going to be a good one, guys. So I want you all to enjoy. I want you to stay safe during the 4th. But remember, the 4th of July is more than fireworks. It's more than car shows. It's about celebrating our country and our country's birthday. That is not something that should be taken lightly. So take a moment and think about that. And as always, guys, I want you to stay safe, peace, and happy pours.